My favourite moment, it's either when I go to the post office and I have like a load of orders because they're always like, yeah, look at
Yeah, I love
this.
that.
Yeah, they're the sweetest ladies. They're so lovely, and I've got flyers in the post office, and they give them away. And I got an order from it, and it was this guy looking for like something for his daughter's birthday the next day. So I like did a special birthday brownie for her and put like the number 8 on it. And he said he got my leaflet from the post office.
From Swoop, it's Take The Plunge, a podcast about how business owners decided to stop what they were doing and took the plunge to start their own business. We take a look at how they came to that decision and what the first crucial steps were in getting themselves up and running. My name is Kieran and I'll be your host for this episode. And this week we're joined by Immy from Bubbles Bakery. It's a take-at-home bakery that offers delicious baked goods delivered straight to your door all across the UK. She set it up from her kitchen. Amy now works around the clock managing her business, baking from brand manager to orders to packaging and to shipping. It's very much a labor of love, and that can be seen from the tasty treats, beautifully packaged and designed. And as well as supporting her own small business, 5% of every order goes to the Marine Conservation Society. Amy, you're very, very welcome. Thanks so much for coming on Take the Plunge. How are you doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. This is a lot of fun.
Great. So I suppose most importantly, let's start from the very beginning. And can you tell us why you decided to stop whatever you were doing and decide I'm going to set up a bakery business?
I think, well, it was less deciding to stop, more the world forcing me to stop what I was doing. Yeah, I really, because I set this up during lockdown. So previous to that, I was working in live music. So obviously that pretty much came to a halt in March. And it's funny because when it initially happened, I was like, oh, I've got stuff booked in June. I'll be doing that. Like, I didn't think this would be going on this long. And then lo and behold, here we are. And it was more that kind of realization of it's going to be a long time before music comes back, realistically. And now that seems even longer. So like I applied for like bits of jobs and stuff, and kind of to pass the time during everything, I found myself just baking, and I couldn't eat it all, so I'd be sending it to people, and then people were just like, why don't you do something with this? And I never really thought about it, and then I kind of sat down and yeah, just kind of figured it out, and I was like, actually this could be a really good thing, and help at least pass the time a bit, but also with the charity stuff it has a little bit of purpose. And yes, I guess it's always been in my head, but this kind of forced me to do it.
And when you kind of got obviously the pretty good feedback from the delicious treats, when you kind of decided to sit down, what were your kind of steps? You were like, okay, how am I going to formalize this? How am I going to get this up and running? What were you kind of thinking?
The first thing that I really thought was about branding, because initially, like, I had this idea for the name Smart Cookies because it was just something I always used to say. But then when I like sat down to think about that, I was like, well, every bakery that you see online, like looking through Instagram and different things, like all of their logos are like a cookie or a cupcake or something like that. And then I was just like, there's not really anything cute with that. And like in my head, I was like, I kind of want something really cute and like just yeah, like a brand image. And it's funny, like I'd never really thought in that way before, but I was like, yeah, I want that kind of recognizable thing that's like, it says it's a bakery but it's not so obvious a bakery. So yeah, there's
And
a really silly story behind Bubbles, but it led to the turtles thing, and then I was like, oh, that's a really cute kind of little
tell us the
logo.
story.
Oh god, it's so embarrassing.
Great.
When I was a kid, we were on like a holiday in France, and we went to, I think, Futuroscope or something like that. And so as a kid, I used to love stuffed animals. And on this holiday, I got this stuffed turtle, and I loved it so much. And it was called Bubbles, right? I'm very inventive with my names. And so we're leaving Futuroscope, and we get in the car, and I have such vivid memory of it. We get in the car, like I like shut the door in like this like underground car park, and I was just like, wait, where's Bubbles? I couldn't find it anywhere. I'm like opening the door.
It's not walking anywhere.
like opening the door, looking around, it's like it's nowhere. Like I thought I just dropped to get in the car, and I was heartbroken. And like even when I got home, like I don't even know how I must have been like 8 or 9 or something. I'd like made like an R.I.P. Bubbles poster.
Like, he's already dead, Emmy.
I know, it was just I was so heartbroken by it, but like the reason that it come about, I just recently told my boyfriend that story, so for some reason that was just fresh in my mind. So when I was then thinking about branding, I was like, turtles, Bubbles, like Bubbles Bakery, that's cute. And then that's how like the charity stuff came about. I was like, oh, this is even better. So yeah.
Amazing. That's awesome. And then I suppose once you kind of had decided on Bubbles and this is what the branding was going to be, how did you go about then taking the next steps in letting people know about the business or kind of getting the word out there?
I got like the Canva app and started playing around with like Instagram posts and bits like that. So I put that online, like just like a coming soon kind of thing. So I'd like made originally it was just Instagram. So I made the Instagram account, and then just like on my personal, like said a few things and like put that out, and then just kind of, I think it was like daily, just kind of not teasing things, but yeah, just putting bits out, and then stuff I post about like the charity, bits like that. And in that kind of week or two before I like properly launched it, is when I was like developing the recipes and just making sure they were all set to go, because it's really based off like the classic Oreo brownie is one I've been making for years, and kind of every recipe is just kind of based off that. So I've kind of merged that into other things. So yeah, that was kind of how I started getting that out.
Nice. You mentioned a really useful tool there, Canva. Do you use that quite a bit?
Yeah,
I know myself. Yeah.
that has been like I kind of feel like a cheat, because it's like I feel like I'm not doing anything, but it's been good. It's been so useful from like it just makes it look professional, you know. And
Yeah.
like I did buy the pro one just because I think it allowed me a certain turtle image that I
wanted. How much is the Canva Pro?
I can't remember. I don't think it's too expensive. I think it was like you could do a monthly one or a yearly one from memory, but I really can't remember. But if it was a lot, I wouldn't have done it. But it's definitely been so great. And I remember I did a certain I put an advert out when I had a sale on, and it looked really professional and just really cool. So it's like it's been amazing.
And kind of when you were kind of putting the sale out there or trying to get the first customers through the door that weren't, say, outside your current network, what kind of tactics were you using, and how did you go about doing that?
Well, I guess from the beginning, I was really lucky. I had a lot of friends support me, Kirsty including. So thank you for that. So like at the beginning, like the first sales were like friends and family. So that's kind of how that kind of started to get out. And then like honestly, it was just a lot of luck, and I don't know how this happened, but I'm very grateful. I've managed to do interviews and do like a handful of radio shows, all while I'm still quite new at this. And there was, my friend sent me a link to this BBC London reporter who wanted to see people that had started a business in lockdown. And I was like, I'm not technically in London anymore, but I'm only 2 hours away. And she was like, if you can find a kitchen in London, like I'd love to do something on you.
Oh, nice.
So I did that, and then kind of from that there was like a BBC London radio interview, and then Radio Norfolk, and another Radio Norfolk kind of thing. So I mean that's a whole stroke of luck. But with regards to finding new customers, it was more focused on ads, and it's interesting learning what's effective and what's not effective with the ads, especially on Facebook. I find really hit and miss, but Instagram, it's like you can promote a post or whatever, and you'll get loads of likes, but it doesn't necessarily convert to followers depending on what the post is. So yeah.
Without giving away too much of the secret sauce, like kind of what do you feel has kind of gone well or poorly with some of those kind of ad campaigns?
I think some of them that I've promoted, it's if you were just scrolling past it, you wouldn't necessarily know what it is. Like, not to say you don't know that it's a brownie, but like when I just say like a selection box, some people just like, oh, I don't really know. And the thing is, like when you're scrolling through Instagram or whatever all day, like it really has to catch your eye and make sense for you to kind of for people to click on it. And so yeah, it's the choice of what posts that I chose to advertise. The sale one I found worked really well. I did a giveaway, that one worked incredibly well. So yeah, it's just, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around really how that works and how to do it effectively, because I mean, so quickly you can spend so much money doing it. So that's something I'm still trying to like, yeah, figure out a
Is
lot.
it was there anyone that just, oh god, that went really badly?
Instagram I find a lot easier. Facebook, the ad center is just where you completely lose me, because it's just it's too confusing, and I think they do it on purpose so they can just take your money. Because they have like continuous ads and it's not so sure how you stop them. So I
Yeah.
had one continuous ad which was just like the page, where like people would just see the advert for the page. So I don't think I got too much from that. Because you can choose what you want to get from the ad, whether it's like people to your page, to your website, start messaging conversations. So I did one where it was the messaging conversation. I got a handful of those, but how many of those actually converted to sales was quite little.
And like, I'd imagine the logistics side of things, kind of delivering all this goods, must be not the easiest problem to solve. How did you go about kind of trying to tackle that?
Just from sending stuff to friends before I started this, I kind of realized the last day I want to be sending stuff is Thursday, just so I know that by the latest it'll get there by Saturday, because I just don't want something sitting in a sorting warehouse over the weekend kind of thing. So from the beginning, I kind of set myself the rule like the last send out for the week is Thursday, so the latest I'll accept an order depending on what it is would be like the Wednesday morning maybe, or and then any orders kind of after that would be sent the Monday. So I kind of had that framework in my head, but then when you start getting orders through, it's kind of a very different thing. You're just like, oh, I've got to figure this out. Especially like I've got to make sure I make it on time, and then because they've all got like chocolate on top, so I have to make sure that's fully dried and it's not gonna like smudge or whatever. So yeah, trying to sort that out, and ordering packaging, that was I mean that was a lot of fun, because again that comes into the branding, but like boxing wise, I think the first box I got was too big and now I have 50 of them, which is nice. But yeah, kind of figuring that out. But luckily I sent off a few boxes to friends before everything went live, and that was with those big boxes, so I figured that didn't work, and then I ordered the slightly smaller ones. So yeah, it was just figuring out all of that, and yeah, it seemed to kind of fall into place quite nicely. And I have a really good relationship with my local post office, so they've been super supportive as
Amazing.
well.
And like, how did you go about in the first instance, like finding things like, where do I source packaging? How do I get that information from? Was it just all up your own bat, or did you know?
Just a mad search online, really. Like
Fair play.
originally, I was there just didn't seem to be anything, like especially size wise, because I mean at the start it was mainly just the full slabs of brownie that I was doing. So yeah, I remember it being a real pain, like trying to find exactly what I needed, and then I found, I think it's Kite Packaging, which is actually quite a big place. I don't know why it took me so long to find that, but they're all the dimensions you could need on there, and I've just added like some small options, so I've got my smaller boxes from there, everything, and they're all recyclable and eco-friendly as well. So that was a really big point of my packaging. I wanted to make sure it was all that. So yeah, once I found it, I was like, okay, this is perfect. This is like the one I'm going to stick with.
When all the orders are coming through, is it like, Jesus, this is so exciting, amazing seeing come through, or is it like panic at the amount of baking that needs to be done?
If it's just like a brownie slab, that's all chill. I can kind of get that knocked out kind of the day that it's done. And I have I've always worked better at night, but I have a completely backwards sleep schedule, so I usually work into the nights. That's even if they order like in the evening, I'll probably make it that night. So by the time I wake up in the morning, it's all dry and ready to go. It's when I get the selection box orders that I start to freak out a bit, because that requires making pretty much everything on the menu. So anybody that follows my account or my personal thing, when the minute I get one, it's like, somebody please share this, somebody please buy it. Just so I don't lose money on it. I need to sell kind of at least 3. So the minute I had this literally the other day, I was like, the minute I get one, I was like, somebody buy one, please, somebody share it. And I managed to get the orders. So yeah, that's more when the panic sets in.
Since it all started, and since you've kicked off Bubbles Bakery, like what's been your favorite moment of the whole experience so far?
My favorite moment, it's either when I go to the post office and I have like a load of orders, because they're always like, yeah, look at this.
I love that.
Yeah, they're the sweetest ladies. They're so lovely, and I've got flyers in the post office, and they give them away. And I got an order from it, and it was this guy looking for like something for his daughter's birthday the next day. So I like did a special birthday brownie for her and put like the number 8 on it. And he said he got my leaflet from the post office. He's like, oh, they didn't stop singing your praises. They went on and on and on about you, and that was really heartwarming.
Oh,
And
I
then
love
I
that.
got the photo of his daughter with the brownie and like with the candles in it, and I was like, oh, this is like making my heart melt right now. This is so
Oh, I love
sweet.
it.
I probably think that's kind of the best moment. And yeah,
That's
anytime that
amazing.
I've managed to get on the radio, luckily as well.
And I'm just kind of thinking back to that lockdown kind of madness when you went into the supermarket and like there'd be random stuff that just wasn't available. And I remember it now. I don't know where you source your flour and stuff from, but I remember you couldn't get flour or eggs for love or
Yeah.
money for a good old 6 weeks. So how did Bubbles Bakery source the produce?
I think the timing. So I kind of started developing all of this in August, and then it kind of
Ah,
launched pretty much the start of September. So I think we were kind of out of it by then. So I was okay, and certain things it was just a question of if I see it, I'll buy it. So I have like liquid glucose, which I use, which is just in
hmm,
small tubs. So sometimes that was a bit hit and miss. So it's like I'll grab it, but I have somewhere else now that I've kind of found that do more bulk bits. So
yeah.
yeah, there's this bakery I've followed on Instagram for a while. That I was just she's been really helpful actually, and I'm just like, where do you get all your bulk stuff from? Like, I used a lot of chocolate chips, so yeah, I was like, because in the supermarkets, I'm that annoying person that when you want to go get chocolate chips, I'm the reason that they're not there because I've just taken them
You're
all.
like the toilet roll thief.
Yeah, because they also only come in 100-gram bags. So originally it was like I was just taking them all, but as now kind of finding more places that do it in bulk. So
Yeah.
started to move away from that, but I've definitely got in the habit of buying so much stuff. Like, I don't need to buy ingredients for a while now. So especially when the lockdown happened, I was just like, I'm all good. I've got about 6 bags of flour. That'll be fine.
And then I suppose because this is all happened so quickly for you, if August is when all this was starting to come into play. So if you're moving at this kind of speed and we're kind of getting into Christmas, what does the next year look for like for you in terms of Bubbles Bakery? Are you going to go full into it, expand it more and more? What are your plans?
God, I don't know. I mean, short term Christmas wise, I have a Christmas brownie, so that's that. um, but I guess honestly, I'm just gonna see where it kind of goes and where I take it. And it has been an interesting learning curve because I found certain things at work, and even the last set of boxes I sent out, I tried something different, and I was like, oh, that it's even just down to the weight of the boxes because if it goes over 2 kilos, postage jumps from about 550 up to £15. So I did something different that's like made it like 3 grams over. So it's just yeah, I've learned a lot. So I just
Yeah.
hopefully apply that and just kind of see where it goes.
And how have you found like the business aspect of it, like setting the price of things, working out how much you're spending, how much you can make on it, how do I sell it, how do I take the orders? How have you found all that side of
It's I was kind of lazy in that I figured out the cost of to make one of the brownies and just applied it to the rest. So, which
it?
pretty much there's not too much difference. And like, I
Yep.
mean, I use I don't know if you care about brand names or anything, but I use biscuits, and there's a certain one that is usually always on sale, so I'm always saving money on that. So yeah, when I figured out the cost of the main one, basically, yeah, I just apply that to the rest, and I didn't find it too hard. And with my music stuff before, I was self-employed, so I'm used to doing collecting receipts and
Nice.
expenses and all of that. So that wasn't too much of a jump. And yeah, order wise, originally I was just doing it through Instagram and Facebook. But then, especially with Facebook, the layout of it is just terrible. Like it's really hard to kind of see anything. Instagram's great because it's
Hmm.
all visually pleasing. It's all there, and I have all the highlights at the top, which have all the information and everything. But Facebook, I just found a pain, and people just getting confused and asking loads of questions and like the same questions. So I decided to do a website, which has helped a lot. So yeah, get the orders through there, and that website is, despite the fact building it was really slow just because it kept crashing, the actual the store management of it is really great. So that's been really good.
Nice. So did you have to put a payment system in there, or did you get one off the shelf that comes with it?
Yeah, so I set it up all through Wix.
Nice.
Purely because I've built a personal website through there before, so I just had a little bit of experience using it, and yeah, it's so easy. It just kind of pretty much does it all for you. And then because when you select that it's going to be a business like selling things, they have a Wix store version of that, and then I think it's just a monthly fee for the business side of it, and that allows you to accept payments via them. And I think you could put in your own payment system or whatever. I think regardless there was going to be a fee, and I was just like, Wix is kind of just like does it all for you, so I'll do that small payment, and yeah, it just keeps it all in one place and makes it so much easier.
Lovely. Sounds like it takes a lot of pain out.
Yeah.
Tell us about the charity as well, and because as I was saying at the top of the show, 5% of every word goes to a Marine Conservation Society. So let us know a bit about that.
Yeah, so the Marine Conservation Society, they're an amazing charity. They basically work to protect everything in our seas, everything around it, whether that's the nature or the landscape or anything. I think especially pandemic aside and economics and everything else like that aside, the world is really, I think, and the health of it is what's going to come crashing down before anything else, is what I personally believe anyway. So I just think, yeah, doing something to support that, it gives it a purpose, but also I just think it's really important as well. And yeah, everything they do is amazing, whether that's making sure there's not plastic, and over the summer they did this thing called the Great British Beach Cleanup, I think it was, where you just sign up yourself individually. They send you a form, and you just go onto the beach and clear up all the rubbish on it, and then they kind of do a survey on that. So they do the plastic side of it, they do like the animal conservation side of it, landscape conservation, everything. So yeah, they're really great.
And as we kind of approach to Christmas and the Christmas brownies hitting the shelves, so to speak, what happens if you get all too many orders? Is there anyone there to help? Any extra hands on deck?
With regards to too many orders, I don't see that happening too soon, but if is such a case, I mean, my mum's always here. I'm sure she'd be happy to help. It's going to sound horrible. She calls herself the dishwasher just because she likes cleaning up the bowls afterwards, and she likes eating the batter. So I guess she helps in that kind of way.
That's pretty helpful.
Yeah, she did call herself that before I did, so I'm not a horrible person. But especially with the selection boxes, and I've done a market before as well, I kind of know how much I can get done in a night. So I can, depending on what time I start, I can get about 8 brownies done in a night. So I don't think I'll ever be doing too much more than that. Like, say if I had to do that every day for a few days. So I think I'd be able to manage up to a point.
Well, thanks so much, Immy, for coming on and giving us the overview of Bubbles Bakery and how it all started. It's been amazing hearing how you've gone from August to now, and how you and the dishwasher are powering Norfolk kitchens. Big shout out to Post Office Norfolk. They sound like the most lovely ladies. So I hope you sell all the Christmas brownies this Christmas. And thanks again for coming on. Can't wait to see how Bubbles Bakery goes on.
Oh, thanks for having me so much. It's been great.
Cheers, Immy.
Thank you.